Just how versatile is a Microsoft Surface RT first generation? Can it replace a home computer for the light internet user? Absolutely. If you're interested in knowing more, stay tuned. So why am I making this video? Basically, it's to show that the Microsoft Surface RT first generation can replace a home PC in the right circumstances or in the right situation. As long as you're not a power user or a gamer, this could fit the bill. For someone who's on a fixed income, for a student who has a set budget and really can't afford a top-end computer, like an Ultrabook or like a home PC. You really don't want a gaming rig if you're just doing studies and your basic needs are your Word, your PowerPoint, your basic Office, simple browsing, simple email, note-taking in class, in general consumption of YouTube videos, of streaming Flash content, as this can handle it. And it has a fairly good built-in browser. Now, I know a lot of people don't like Internet Explorer, or maybe it's not their favorite browser. But if you're on a budget, this will fit the bill. Now, let me just move this up a little and get some things out of the way so I can first say that what you're seeing on the desk is a Wi-Fi printer and two USB hubs. One being a powered hub, the other being a non-powered hub, which is a mobile. Both were very inexpensive, as was the printer. The printer was actually on for a very good price. I believe it's last year's model and on sale. Well, the sale might have ended. I'm not 100% sure, but I did get it for a very good price. I also have Bluetooth speakers purchased from Walmart very cheap, in and around the $15 mark. If you happen to wait for sales and put a system together very inexpensively, I'm pretty sure the Surface RT could surprise you with just what it can do. So we'll bring the Surface RT back in and replug the USB so that we can have the wireless keyboard, which is, again, another inexpensive, and a wireless mouse. So if you need to do your word entry on, or number entry in Excel, or even PowerPoint, but to do a basic email, you're going to need a keyboard rather than just tapping away on the screen. So, we end up having what looks to be your standard Windows 8.1 interface, which, as I've said, this is the RT model. We'll go close in on the screen just to show you. Windows RT, and it is updated to Windows 8.1. But I've been able to create for myself a fairly usable home PC laptop replacement that actually does quite a lot of now, I mean, I'm on the network, so I have access to my other PCs. But just to show you, I have access to both my PCs, the one that's in the bedroom and the one that's in the living room. I also have access to my printers and my scanner, which happen to work very well within RT. So you can cover any of your needs in terms of printing, scanning, document creation, basically, as you can handle PDF, you can handle a Word document, you can handle spreadsheet, you can handle image, basic image printing. I mean, there are very small tools available through the store for not actually, it doesn't cost that much. It's pretty much free for PowerPoint, or not PowerPoint, I'm sorry, Photoshop Express is a free image editing utility. I mean, you've got Fresh Paint, which is, you can do something a little more dazzling. Now, Canon itself, I was shocked to notice that they have utilities made for RT, which allow you to scan and print and image edit somewhat. However, if you happen to use a Wi-Fi model or a printer that is Wi-Fi based or even USB based, and you don't have access to an RT app by the maker, there are simple ways of getting through image printing and document printing without the use of these apps, which I will show you. So we will go to desktop. Now, for instance, let's say you want to scan an image, but your version of the Wi-Fi printer didn't come with any type of a Windows 8 utility built for RT. Well, that's not a problem, because you simply, actually we'll go back to the Windows 8 interface, come back down to your list of programs and open up one of your very basic Windows programs that are included with RT, called Paint. And you are going to actually scan with your Paint program. So it says here, from scanner or camera, which means you can import from your camera via the USB as well. Now, the video camera that I'm actually videoing with, I knocked the tripod, I'm terribly sorry about that, is actually capable of pulling the video into the RT device via the USB. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to scan this picture, which I don't know how well it's going to show up yet, which was taken at the Toronto Auto Show a few years back, of a Lamborghini Diablo. So we will put this into the scanner. I'm sorry if my tripod's creaking. And it's a fairly automated process within RT. Let's get you a little closer so we can see. That we are going to scan a color picture. Now, I mean, we can adjust the quality of the image that we're scanning, which I think default it sets it to 300 dpi, which is a fairly good. It's a fairly good image quality. So we'll do a quick preview. The scanner has just become active, as you can see. It's now running and scanning. Now, don't expect any great speed with a Windows RT, but that's not bad there, and it will auto-select the actual picture itself. So the image is now selected automatically. I don't have to, I can adjust the border if I wish, but that's the exact picture that I would like to scan, so we will scan it. So it now scanned into Paint, and we could, let's say, put a blue paintbrush. We'll look at the brushes here, and we were doing some sort of ad copy. Which you'll have to forgive, I'm using a mouse to draw here, so. But at least that way, if it looks as ridiculous as that, when it prints, you'll know it came from the RT. Now, you can go in and, of course, as always, save it as a bitmap, a JPEG, a PNG, a GIF, or you can take it to another format, whatever program you happen to have on the RT, if it handles some sort of different file format. But in this case, rather than saving the image, we're just going to print it. Now, I could do it to glossy paper, but unfortunately, I've already messed with the photo by putting some text on there. So I'll just print it on plain paper. But you will get the chance to change the preferences if you want, how many copies you want. So if you look at preferences, we can change it to landscape. The paper quality will automatically select, it's already selected, it's going to be color, or I can change it to black and white. I can use any of the matte photo paper, inkjet photo paper, but we'll just use plain paper, and it's automatic. The source is automatically selected from the actual printer itself. So we'll click OK, and we'll print. So it's now being sent via Wi-Fi to the printer. The printer has gone active again. Now this is going to take a second to fire up. As I said, this being last year's, well, I think it's last year's model. It was an inexpensive printer. It is not entirely the quickest, but it's not too bad. Oh, I didn't realize I was printing it full. Well, it came out full sheet. And there we go. So that was printed by a Windows RT. Which, not too bad, I must say. And you could do the same for a document if you wanted. Don't save. It's very easy to print from the web, print from SkyDrive, Dropbox if you wanted it. It's simply available. So we'll do my cover letter, which will now open up in Word. Now this is the RT version of Word, so it is not as quick as your x86 version. But very simply, Now you can hear the printer firing up. It's going to do its thing. Again, don't expect any great speed, as it is coming from a Windows RT device. So while you're not waiting as long as the old days of Windows 95 and Windows 98, you still do have a fairly usable ability to print a Word document off of your Windows RT device. So scanning and printing can be done. You've also got your basic web surfing, which you've got your choice of the desktop version of Internet Explorer, which you can then go to YouTube. Now, you can see that the load time really isn't that bad. It's not the quickest, but like again, I said, this is not your home computer, this is not a gaming system. This is a tablet that you're going to turn into a PC replacement. So we'll just very quickly test video for a Honda Forza from 1,000 PS.
175 bucks?
Yes, that's for fees and taxes, sir.
Fees and tax?
So we'll go past the ad. Now you can see the...
Hallo liebe 1000 PS-Fans, ich bin heute mit dem Honda Forza 300 unterwegs. Ein grundsätzlich sehr schlauer Roller, weil er sich
German or Dutch, I'm not exactly sure, but...
meiner Meinung nach die goldene Mitte. Goldene Mitte vor allem wegen des Motors. Es ist kein kleiner 125er Motor, der höchstens 15 PS leisten darf. Der Forza bringt knappe 5...
The load and unload time really isn't that bad, but I mean, we can go to Google. And you can do your searches from Google. So let's say we wanted to look at red cabbage, because you're doing a project on red cabbage. And your load times aren't that bad again. Scrolling seems not too bad. It's not the quickest, I will admit. However, it's an acceptable if you're just using basic, very basic things on the internet. So we'll come to the desktop version, or sorry, the Metro or modern version, as Microsoft would like you to say modern now, which is pretty much, again, the same thing. Which, as you can see, it loaded fairly quickly. If you want, we can go to a graphics intensive website. Which would be CNET. And again, as I said, is it the quickest? No. Does it get the job done? Yes. But there again, for the amount of money you're going to spend to have a capable PC replacement or laptop replacement, you're getting, I think, a lot of bang for the buck. If you definitely want to look at prices, now would be the time to get yourself a first generation. We will go to Google. Oh, actually, I do have Google listed. And type in refurbished. Surface RT, which by the way comes with a full year warranty from the Microsoft store for quite a reasonable price. So the 32 gig alone is $249. The 64 gig is $299. Now with covers, that makes it $299 and $359 respectively, compared to the new ones, which are quite a bit more. And if you happen to watch on eBay, it has appeared on eBay for as low as $199 refurbished. Now I'm not exactly sure who the eBay seller was that had them. They were a limited quantity, but they were available for a short time. I do believe that the sale is now over on that. But if you happen to keep your eye up, you will see that the Surfaces are available refurbished for a much less price than what's available. Now, the one shocking thing that I found, we'll go in again and look at what's available here. I've got a 32 gigabyte SD card, and it's a 64 gig version, and at the moment I've loaded quite a lot of things, games and things that I happen to like on it. I've got 41.7 gigabytes free, which that's more than enough storage space, because you're not doing quite a lot that you would do with a power machine or a gaming rig or an ultrabook. And with time, it's only going to become better, as I understand the limitations that you have within video in terms of video played from storage devices on the RT. You're limited to Windows Media Video and MP4. Other video formats at the moment aren't supported, but VLC should change that. And the shocking thing that I found was having the USB gives me the ability to attach an LG DVD writer. Now, it is not fully supported. However, I'm pretty sure that if someone, let's say the very same people that make, and you'll now notice that the DVD writer was recognized, and it is on the screen, DVD-RW. You don't have full functionality that you would have, let's say, with a secure digital. So from the drop-down menu, I do have the ability to format the card, should I choose to. Normally, you would also have this ability within Windows. Oh, I should put it back. That you would be able to format. However, the only functionality you do get is the eject. So let me pull back. And we will click eject, which it opens. A DVD of the Da Vinci Code. Again, as I said, not fully supported by what's available out there. However, Power DVD does give you the ability to play MPEG-2, even though it is quite fussy. As I tried my Matrix DVD and it didn't want to play. So we've got the Da Vinci Code in. It's going to read. Now, if someone would get behind this and fully support the ability to play DVD, I'm pretty sure you would have, it's not an important format anymore. And don't ask me why it does this, but it basically falls off the computer and will come back on again. Anyways, terribly sorry about the jump cut there. I could not figure out why it kept disconnecting and reconnecting. However, I totally forgot when I tried this yesterday, I had to plug in both ends of the cable, as there just wasn't enough power on one of them. So you'll see this cable comes over here. Oops, sorry. Tracing it back right behind, just so you don't think I'm doing any funny business here. Cable comes back to our... Anyways, so now we do have it. And it is showing up again. .7 gigabytes free, my SD card, and there's the Da Vinci Code extended. Now, as I said, by adding the Power DVD within Windows 8 RT, you cannot play the DVD directly. You can, however, go into the video TS file and play from there. Now, of course, you don't have subtitles. You don't have a lot of support for chapters. You don't have support for, you know, pretty much any of the extras within the DVD. And DVDs are a hit and miss. As I said, I tried this one yesterday while I was playing with it. And of course you can scan through. And it's got pretty quick pickup anyways. I don't want to get a copyright smashing, so we will exit this. And as I said, I tried my Star Trek Nemesis DVD. It didn't want to play at all. And basically, when you go into the file format, it said file not supported. So it's pretty much hit and miss with your movies, but DVD, it's really not an important factor. They do need support so that you could use the actual, the burning of a CD or a DVD if you wanted to store documents and pictures and onto something else that's not an SD card. You do have the ability to put it on an SD card, but if you wanted to make something more permanent, right now the support isn't there because you cannot format a rewritable disk. You don't have that control within your drop-down menu. You basically can eject, and that's about it. Well, there is an autoplay feature, but it doesn't work. It doesn't, because it's not an actual computer. This is a limited version of Windows built for the ARM architecture. And as I said, just so you know that I'm not pulling any funny business here, or this is the Windows RT Surface. The NVIDIA Tegra 3 with 2 gigabytes of memory, 64 gig SSD, and 32 gig SD. But, like I said, it does what it needs to do if you want to replace a home computer or you want to do it on a budget. Your Windows RT can actually replace a home computer, a laptop, an Ultrabook, provided you have the simple needs. I mean, you have your basic apps for Facebook, Twitter, Flipboard. You have your HD cameras for Skyping. You have access to SkyDrive. It will sync with your phone. Now, I happen to have a Windows phone, and there is an app that automatically installs when you sync with your Lumia. Gameplay also isn't that bad. I should actually probably use the touchscreen for this. So it does have the ability to play games. We'll exit out of that. Now, if you have older PC version games, they won't play on the RT, as this is not an x86 device. But the games that they do have within the store really aren't that bad. Asphalt plays quite well. Its loading time is not as fast as your home computer. Well, it's not too bad. So for the games that are available, it's quite good. So you can have your entertainment. Now, I won't play a whole lap or anything, but just to show you that the play really isn't that bad. load times are a little bit longer than what you would expect with...
Welcome to Hawaii.
Now, I'm not the best at this game for sure, but you'll probably find yourself enjoying what games you do find available for the RT. And I'm using the keyboard here, and I don't know what the other controls are set as. I unfortunately didn't check out the menu before I came in. Oh, I missed that
Watch your
cache.
back, buddy.
So, is it the best? Again, no. But for what it does do, it's quite adequate. And it's on a budget. You're not spending what you would spend for an Ultrabook, for a gaming rig. If you have basic needs, surfing the internet, doing your email, Word documents, spreadsheets, PowerPoint, you've got various apps for information gathering, for research, storage, you've got your maps, you do have your camera. I wouldn't use this as an actual camera myself, but you can do your scanning, you can do your printing. So, a student on a budget, a senior who just wants to get in and tinker around with something new but doesn't want to break the bank doing it, this is your device. This is a good way to set up a home computer on a budget. Anyways, I'll leave it with you. And you decide. If you happen to like the video, please like it. If you want to subscribe, there will be more videos coming in the future. I would appreciate your subscriptions. If not, I hope you have a great day, and I hope maybe you've learned something from someone as limited as myself. Anyways, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.